is good, YouTube? Quinn Wade Basketball Analysis coming to you with a quick video. I wanted to let you guys know I got some new merchandise available, not just t-shirt anymore. I got different type of t-shirt, different type of shirts and logos that you can purchase on my spread shirt, and also hoodies now. We have expanded and added more to the channel and more merchandise for the brand. Thanks for supporting. It will be in the description and the links will be in the comment section below. Thanks for helping me and supporting the movement. Quinn Wade Basketball Analysis. I'm going to check out the video. What is good, YouTube? Coming to y'all with my last top 5 list and my last prediction. This is the top 5 centers based off last year, and I want to start off the video saying Anthony Davis will not be in this list. If he was, he would be number 1. But the fact that he is now going to play power forward, he is excluded from this list. Also, certain players like Al Horford, who will not play center this year, he will be playing power forward, and Embiid will be the center. He will no longer be on this list either because he is not going to be a center. He's going to be a power forward. He's going to play some center, but he's going to be starting off as the power forward in the lineup. So if you're going to start at the power forward position, I got to count you as a power forward. So Al Horford, Anthony Davis, and guys like that will not be on this list because they no longer start at that position, even though they might play a couple minutes there. This list was pretty tough. It's a lot of guys that's up and coming. It's a lot of guys that's proven, and it's a lot of guys that have different type of styles. Some like to be finesse players, some like to be rim runners, some like to be floor spacers. So there's a lot of different ways you can look at a player, and there's a lot of different ways you can evaluate who are the best at what they do. And I think if you count the regular season and the playoffs, is 5 guys that have proven or somewhat proven in the regular season that they can be more than just one-dimensional type of player. So I'm going to start off at number 5, and I'm going to go up to number 1. Number 5 is Vucevic. I had some trouble with Vucevic over certain guys like Clint Capella and Andre Drummond. But when you look at the versatility of Vucevic, yeah, he's not a defender, but neither is Drummond. Drummond improved as a defender, but he's not an elite defender. But he also can't knock down free throws. He can't give you 20 points. And Vucevic still can rebound the ball very well. And he also was an all-star in the East, and his team did help make the playoffs. Drummond made it to the playoffs. Capella made it to the playoffs, but Vucevic was probably the best player on that team. Even though he didn't play like it in the regular season, neither did Drummond, neither did Capella. So those are the guys that was fighting for the eighth spot. And I ended up going with Vucevic because he has more versatility and he does more. And I think that is going to continue. He has a game that's going to age pretty well also because he don't rely a lot on athleticism. So I can see Vucevic being a solid player longer than they can. And I can see why, people respect Vucevic because he doesn't complain. He doesn't get mad. He stayed and been committed to Orlando. He consistently improved, and he is a 20 and 10 guy. This is a guy that can rebound the ball and also score the ball in multiple ways, and he's actually just a significantly better free throw shooter than those guys anyway, and he has helped the team win. So winning is no longer the problem for Vucevic, as they did make it to the playoffs, and they do have enough talent to make it again in the East this year, but they won't be contenders, but neither will the Pistons. Number 4, Towns. I know this is a little low for Towns. People think that he'd be higher because of his offense ability, but his efficiency is amazing. Being able to shoot that 3 as great as he does as a center is spectacular. He's the best shooting center in the league, in my personal opinion. The fact that he can post up and give you right hooks, he can face up you at the 3-point line at the mid range, 15 footers. He can also do it close to the basket. He is an excellent free throw shooter, and I cannot take that away from him. He can knock down free throws like crazy, and is a guy that's virtually unstoppable. And that's important because centers don't really win you championships nowadays. They still are important, especially depending on what's their role and what they do on offense. And when it comes to offense, it's nothing that Towns really can't do. And I think that that's important. I still think that he needs to become a better passer. I want to continue to see him improve on the defensive end, and that's the thing that's holding him back from being number 1. But I also felt like he made the sacrifices when Jimmy Butler was there to help them win games. And now he's in a situation where he's the best player and they need him to be dominant every single game for them to have a chance at winning. And I think that's a good thing for Towns to show that he can literally do like we seen him do last year at the end of the season. But now we have a chance to see it for a longer stretch of time, hopefully. And if he does that, I think Towns will definitely move back up into that top two, top three, maybe even number one spot. But I don't see the Wolves winning that much because they just don't have the talent around them, which is unfortunate. But there's a lot of teams that go through those cycles. They had a chance, they took advantage of it, made it to the playoffs, and they haven't done that. Towns was a part of that, and I think that that's important. And I think he is worth the money. And he's a guy that you want to keep. He's like a modern day Kevin Garnett, just lacks the defense. Um, but other than that, Towns, he's definitely one of the best players at that center position. And I wanted to put him higher, but I had Gobert over him. And it's just been a battle for Gobert. Some people like Towns better than Gobert. Some people just love Towns is just so much better defensively. I mean, Rudy is just so much better defensively than Towns, but Towns is just so much better offensively. But the fact that Rudy Gobert isn't a terrible offensive player makes the difference because he's a good passer, he's a smart passer, he's a smart player. He knows where to be, he knows how to run the system defensively, he knows how to contest shots. He's a great rim protector, back to back defensive player of the year, still a great rebounder for that center position, and he was used a lot more offensively than he has ever been in the regular season. They needed him to do more, and he was able to do it. And he's going to have a chance to be even more effective with guys like Mike Conley and Bogdanovich being good ball handlers and being able to throw those lobs and make the right reads. And then Joe Ingles throwing lobs to him. Plus, he's around more shooting, so he's going to be even more deadly because you can't really help off him. And if you do, he can roll right to the rim and finish. And he's a decent free throw shooter too for a center. But at the same time, him being around more playmakers and more spacing going to make him get easier chances, and all he has to do is finish them. And he's been able to do that so far in his career, so I don't really see no difference of why he can't, honestly. But I love me some Rudy Gobert, and the main reason why I pick him, he's a better team player. He has a huge impact defensively. That's why he's defensive player of the year, and he's not a terrible offensive player. And I think that puts him a little bit above Towns, who is basically unplayable defensively, but he's significantly better offensively. But I think Rudy Gobert is okay offensively in the elite. Probably, like I said last year, the best defender in the NBA. Last year, and that's why he's Defensive Player of the Year. Number two, Joel Embiid. I think some people going to debate about this too. Joel Embiid not being number one, but it's just the fact that Joel Embiid has made so many excuses. He's been sick. He's been injured. He doesn't play well in the playoffs. And there's always something. There's always something with Joel Embiid. There's always a problem. There's always a reason. There's always an excuse. And when you look at the numbers, it's hard to deny that he isn't one of the best players in the world. But when you look at all the other stuff that gets into it, it just makes you belittle what he does because he's always missing a lot of games and it's always something. And when it comes to talent, he has it. He has the speed, he has the mobility, he has the touch, he has the mentality to take over and dominate games, and he has the mentality that he's not scared to take big shots. And he done made some over the last couple of years. But when I look at Joel Embiid, it's just always something. He is a great offensive player. He's not the most efficient guy. He turns the ball over a lot. He still has a chance to be Defensive Player of the Year this year. And I still think that he might have a great case of being the number one center in the NBA this year if he put up the numbers and become a lot better and become a lot more efficient and play more games and play better in the playoffs. I don't see why Joel Embiid can't go number one, but with all those things that he has to do, he hasn't done. And that's why I have him number two. And I have Jokic number one. And a lot of people are going to be shocked by that. But when you look at how he played in the regular season, his biggest flaw was the fact that he wasn't great from the three-point line. last year, and the fact that he's not a great defender, but I feel like he has become a solid defender, and it didn't hurt his team too bad in the regular season. Plus, he's the best passing center in the NBA. He still is a great rebounder for his speed and athleticism. He still gets the rebound, and he plays on the perimeter and still gets 10 plus rebounds a game. I think that's very important, showing you how versatile he is. Plus, he can knock down mid range, he can post up, and he can, elevate his game in the playoffs when it matters most. And B struggles at that. Towns hasn't been able to get there enough, and Gobert just not the I don't have the all around game that Jokic has, and I don't think that Towns and Embiid are the passers that Jokic is. Plus, I think that Jokic, he can have a better role this year because he has the experience, he has the chemistry, and his team is mostly the same. That he has to continue to grow and improve every year. So I think Jokic, even though it's unlikely that he's going to be number one this year at the center position, I wouldn't be surprised if he repeated, but I also wouldn't be surprised if Embiid or Towns or Gobert moved up to this number one spot. But for right now, when I count regular season, the Denver Nuggets was one of the best teams in the West all year, and they didn't make it to the Western Conference Finals. But I can't put the blame on Jokic because I feel like he did his job. He did what he was supposed to do, and he showed up and gave his best effort. It just wasn't enough for them to get as far as they wanted to, but they did do a lot better than what a lot of people thought. A lot of people are fans. A lot of people respect them, and a lot of people have them as a contender or borderline contender this year. But we still have to see how their wing position work. Will Jeremy make a big impact? Will Michael Porter Jr. make an impact? And will Paul Millsap have enough? They got enough shooting, they got enough scoring, but can they play a great enough defense? And can they have a guy that can take over the game? And sometimes Jokic can do that, but by him being the center, he needs people to get him the ball, which makes it tougher for him to take over games when they got to enter and set him up for a pass or a shot. But they also have guys that can potentially step up in that position, and that can hurt Jokic as being the best center. As Embiid and Towns have the ability to do that on their teams, but I don't think Jokic, he's just more unselfish. I don't think he really cares about stuff like that, and that's another reason why he's a great passer and teammate. But let me know who you guys think number one is. Is it Embiid? Is I'm sleeping on Towns? Is I'm overrating Gobert? Or is this the list that is supposed to be? Is this Capella and Andre supposed to be in this list? Did I miss somebody like Steven Adams or Miles Turner? Whoever you think I missed, whoever you disagree with, let me know in the comment section below. And also to put your top 5 centers in the NBA down there. And tomorrow I will be doing NBA award predictions to get y'all ready for what I think who's going to win MVP. It's going to be the first one, and I'm going to try to follow that up with a couple more, and we can get ready to get excited for this season. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Like this video, check out my older videos on my channel. I have many playlists. I break down rookies, I break down players, I break down summer league. I do cover the draft, and I got a mock draft up already. Not only that, I do podcasts, and I also talk about the game of basketball, whether it comes to summer league, free agency, trade deadline, buyouts, and also I cover top 10 discussions and stuff like that. So you like this type of video, you like the NBA, check out my older videos and my playlists. I enjoy making these videos. You guys enjoy watching.